Hello again, the Nintendo Kid here with yet another countdown. This time I'm looking at one of the many overlooked things in video games, Hubworlds. So, what is a Hubworld? Well, a Hubworld is the main world of the game from which the player can access the other levels in the game, similar to the town stages in Sonic 06. I'll be ranking these on how many times you visit them in the game, basic design, and just how much I like them overall. Alright, let's lay down some rules. One per franchise, only from games I've played, no map screens or free roam games, and no overworlds or towns from RPGs, because they're not Hubworlds. That would be cheating. So don't expect to see any towns from Earthbound, the main series Pokemon games, or from the Zelda series on this list. Right, let's get started. Some Hubworlds don't really need to be vast or have lots of areas to explore for them to have a good design. An example of this would be the co-op campaign hub in Portal 2. As Hubworlds go, this is pretty basic, seeing as the only other thing in the Hubworld besides the doors to the testing tracks is the LED screen which tells you how many steps you've taken, how many portals you've travelled and opened, how many times you've died, and so on. But the reason it's on this list is its involvement in the story. After completing Test Track 5, GLaDOS opens up access to the bonus Test Track, allowing you to save all the humans in cryogenic sleep. Once you've done that, you are then allowed to access any Test Track you want, even the one right at the start of the game. Another reason I chose this hub in particular is because of the humorous comments made by GLaDOS should either player die.
How can you fail at this? It isn't even a test.
Note, due to the lack of available footage, this next section contains either footage with really bad quality or footage from the GBA version of Crash of the Titans. Sorry for any inconvenience. It's safe to say that recent years haven't really been kind to Crash Bandicoot, seeing as I haven't seen a new game from him in a while. So, I thought I'd honour this video game all-star by picking the next entry for the DS version of Crash of the Titans. This game only really has 4 hubworlds, a total of 5 levels per hub. But which one have I chosen? The very first hub in the game, one per island. Like the Portal 2 hub, there aren't many things to do apart from the levels, but it doesn't need to be vast for it to be on this list. Sure, Insanity Island is larger, but that is split into 2 hubworlds, east and west. The reason why I like this hubworld is the relaxed setting. You're on a beach with a small town to the west and a jungle to the east, with great scenery all around the island. Come on Activision, we need another Crash Bandicoot game. I'm not really sure this could be called a hubworld, but I'm putting on it anyway, seeing as it's the main town in the game. AC/DC Town from Mega Man Battle Network may not be that different from the likes of, say, the towns in the Pokemon series in terms of design, yet, seeing as it serves as the main town of the game and how the player needs to go through this area to access places such as AC/DC area, Scilab, or an island, which serve an important role in the story, particularly in Battle Network 5, I kinda think it qualifies. A lot of people seem to claim that AC/DC Town's name is a reference to the rock band AC/DC, however, it isn't. It's actually a reference to the 2 taps of electric current, alternating and direct. Unsure what I'm talking about? Electro mentions it during his boss fight in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. In terms of design, it's very basic with only the homes of various characters, a school, a subway to allow access to various areas, and a shop. This basic design makes it very easy to navigate, which is a plus. If the hubworld has a too complicated layout, it can be very frustrating for the player. I don't really think there's anything else to say about this. Next! Alright, so far we've seen hubworlds that are just the homes of various characters, but what about hubworlds that serve as a HQ or base of operations? Naturally, we arrive at Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. This game has a total of 4 hubworlds, but the Wakandan Palace is only visited once, and Nick Fury's bunker is only visited twice. So this leaves me with a choice of either Stark Tower or Cap's Hideout. Which did I choose? Stark Tower. In Act 1 of the game, this is the only HQ that can be visited, and serves as the primary HQ of the game. When the SRA, Superhuman Registration Act, is passed, Stark Tower can only be accessed if the player chooses ProReg. If you choose Anti, the HQ for Act 2 will be Cap's Hideout. Stark Tower also goes through some major design changes between Acts 1 and 2. In Act 1, it has a design of a luxury hotel reception and has various computers and other equipment at strategic points to serve its function as both a home and a headquarters for the heroes that live there. In Act 2, some of the hotel elements are still there, but it now has ProReg banners and shield logos at various points, and it has taken on a more militaristic feel. Stark Tower also has collectibles dotted around the room which contain information relevant to the story. Want to find out why the New Warriors have a TV show? You can. Want to know why the Thing left? You can. Want to know why Mr. Fantastic joined the ProReg team? You can. I never really expected a hub world to contain hidden secrets which enhance the story in such a way like this one does. A hub world from Sonic Unleashed, eh? I know what you're thinking. Spagonia, right? Nope. Out of all the hub worlds in Sonic Unleashed, only one is my favourite. Not Shunan, not Shamar, not Holoska, not even Adabat, although its design is pretty cool. My favourite hub world in Sonic Unleashed is Apatos. As you all know, each area in Sonic Unleashed is based off certain areas in the world, and Apatos is based off Greece, most likely Mykonos and Santorini. Trust me, I've been to a few Greek islands before, I know what I'm talking about. This town may not have more to do than some of the other entries on this list, but I put it higher up because it's split into two main areas, town and the entrance stage. The main town only contains a shop and a means of returning to the world map and accessing the entrance stage, yet it has quite a large amount of hidden secrets, especially when talking to the residents of Apatos. Despite the size of the town, Apatos' entrance stage is very large and can be considered to be the second largest in the game, next to Spagonia, and has many hidden secrets to discover and areas to explore. You know what? Screw Soleil. This is a much better design for a city of water. The LEGO video games. Are there any out there that can be counted as good, or at least decent? Why yes, Bionicle Heroes. The hub from this game, or rather the Matoran Enclave, may not be as large as some of the others on this list, but at least it's made out of LEGO, and it has one thing that the others don't. A trophy room, or rather, several trophy rooms. The first is just your standard trophy room, which just gives you information on the bosses you've beaten, creatures in the creature chambers, and various other achievements. 4 others serve as the creature chambers. These rooms act as enclosures and prison cells for the various creatures you unlock by playing the game. One contains the bosses you face in the first and third levels of an area, and others contain Vaki, Borok, or Vizorak that you unlock by collecting all 5 silver canisters in the level. The final trophy room is the Piraka Playground. As its name suggests, this place contains the Piraka you've defeated so far in the game, and the best bit is you can buy all kinds of things from this place, ranging from a seesaw, to a shooting gallery, to a diving board, and even fitness equipment. You even get treated to a funny cutscene whenever the Piraka use said objects. This place even contains 3 bonus levels which challenge you to defeat as many enemies as possible within a certain time limit. Remember guys, Bionicle Heroes is one LEGO game that is seriously worth your time. On the subject of the LEGO games, our next hub world is Barnet College from LEGO Indiana Jones. The game itself is okay, with 1 or 2 decent boss fights and standard gameplay, nothing too special. But this game's hub world is so vast that not even I have explored it completely yet. It's got your standard LEGO hub world areas like your character shop, extra shop, trophy room, and character customization area, but I chose it over all the other hub worlds in the LEGO games simply because of how vast it is. Even the instruction manual of the game up and tells you that there are hidden rooms and possible Easter eggs hidden here. If anyone knows where these things are, please put in the comments or make a video response. I'd like to know what they are and where to find them. The DS version of this hub is slightly different to the home console version, seeing as it contains 2 extra things, despite being significantly smaller. Those other things are a minigame room, where, if you haven't guessed already, is where you can play minigames, and a bonus room that actually allows you to explore an area outside the college. Well, I'm sorry this section is so short, so here's a funny picture to make up for it.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
The Simpsons game. With so much to see and do within the levels and with a very humorous plot, it's no surprise that people overlook the 2 hub worlds from this game. Just to refresh your memory, the 2 hub worlds in this game are the Simpsons house and the game engine. Out of a choice between the 2, I picked the game engine for the number 3 slot. This is unique in its own right because unlike other hub worlds, this only allows you to enter each level once, making it only serve as a means of allowing the player to decide which order they tackle the levels. The game engine has a unique concept of a video game factory where various games and characters are created. This hub also plays a major role in the story of the game, which I'm not going to explain, partially because of spoilers, partially because it would take far too long. It's also the means through which the player can access the last 2 levels in the game, the Creator's Mansion and Heaven. No, seriously, the final level of the game does take place in Heaven, with a dance-off against God as the final boss. To sum up, the game engine is on this list, partially because of its original concept, partly because of how random it is, and partly because I like it. Okay, what's next? What's this? You said you weren't going to include any towns from the Pokemon games, so why is this here? Well, if you were listening closely, I said I wasn't going to include any towns from the main series games. I said nothing about the side series. Okay, so regarding the Mystery Dungeon games, I had a choice between Treasure Town and Pokemon Square. Simply due to the fact that there's a lot more to do in Treasure Town, it's taking the number 2 slot. Let's start with the main big building, Wigglytuff's Guild. This is the main home for the player before they complete the game. In the guild there is Croakunk's Swap Shop, allowing you to exchange your items for more powerful ones, the Sentry Duty minigame, Chimeco Assembly, which allows you to change the Pokemon in your team, and the 2 notice boards which allow you to take on jobs. To the south of the guild there is a beach, with access to the first dungeon of the game, Beach Cave, and to the east you can access the map screen to choose which dungeon to travel to. In Treasure Town itself there are a total of 7 shops. Kecleon Shop, where the player can buy useful items and gear, Duskull Bank, which allows the player to store and take out money, Kangaskhan Storage, where the player can store valuable items, Electivire Link Shop, where you can link moves and relearn old moves that have been forgotten, Chansey Daycare, where any eggs are stored until they hatch, Marowak Dojo, where the player can access various training dungeons, and Xatu Aprid Hazel, where the player can open up any treasure boxes they may have found in the dungeons. To the west of Treasure Town there is Sharpedo Bluff, which serves as the player's home during the post-game story. This was also the home of the partner before he or she joined Wigglytuff's Guild. Explorers of Sky added a new area to Treasure Town, Spinder's Cafe. Here the player can either turn unwanted food items into drinks, which either have a positive or negative effect or do nothing at all, or trade in unwanted items at the recycle shop. And that just about wraps up Treasure Town. Okay, let's just have a little recap for those people who have just joined us. If you have just joined us, what are you doing starting to watch this video when it's almost finished? Go back to the beginning and start watching it from there. Number 10, the Co-op Hub from Portal 2. Number 9, Wumpa Island. Number 8, AC/DC Town. Number 7, Stark Tower. Number 6, Apatos. Number 5, the Matoran Enclave. Number 4, Barnet College. Number 3, the Game Engine. And number 2, Treasure Town. In the world of video games, there is only one hub world that is so perfectly designed, has such brilliant music, and has tons of secrets to explore. The hub world at number 1 is the Comet Observatory from Super Mario Galaxy. This place is just breathtaking. There's so many areas inside this place to explore, and not just to access levels. Use the various domes like the garden, terrace, kitchen and engine room to access the levels, feed hungry Loom and Starbits to unlock more additional levels, use the library to learn more about Rosalina's interesting, yet sad backstory, and use the gate, talk to Rosalina, and then use the trial planet to access even more levels. This place is just brilliant. Starship Mario from the sequel just feels like an insult towards the Comet Observatory. The music that plays here couldn't be a better choice. It's an orchestral piece which makes the Comet Observatory feel like a safe haven in the far depths of space. The Comet Observatory is the only place in the game where you can acquire my favourite power-up in the game, the Red Star. This allows you to transform into Flying Mario, and this means you can fly around the stage picking up at least 5 one-up mushrooms. Finally, the Comet Observatory is a unique story. It serves as the home for Rosalina and the Lumas, and it naturally comes into orbit around the Mushroom Kingdom once every 100 years. During that time, the people of the Mushroom Kingdom celebrate the Star Festival, believing the Comet Observatory just to be an ordinary comet. However, before the events of the game, Bowser attacked the observatory and scattered its fuel source, Pout Stars, across the galaxy, leaving it stuck in orbit around the Mushroom Kingdom. In the game's intro, Bowser then goes on to attack Toad Town and kidnaps Peach yet again, and Kamek sends Mario flying through space, only to be saved by Rosalina. Mario then assists Rosalina by gathering Grand Stars until the Comet Observatory is able to fly again. I'm a Nintendo kid, and I think that the Comet Observatory is the greatest hub world in video game history.